Subscribe to the channel and also press the bell icon to never miss an update from Endeavour Careers. Hello and welcome to Endeavour's GK Capsule for the month of March 2022. This month, we shall talk about the ongoing offensive of the Russian forces on Ukrainian cities, which has led to more than 4 million people fleeing the besieged nation, according to UN estimates. The 94th Academy Awards ceremony, the sudden demise of the world-famous Australian cricketer Shane Warne, the recent visit to India by Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's visit to Maldives and Sri Lanka, Mithali Raj becoming the third cricketer and the first woman to appear in 6 World Cups and other such highlights of the month. The first category is awards and recognitions. The Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters has awarded the Abel Prize for the year 2022 to American mathematician Dennis Parnell Sullivan. One of the highest honors that can be bestowed upon a research mathematician, the honor is considered equivalent of a Nobel Prize in the field of mathematics. The citation mentions that the award has been given for his groundbreaking contributions to topology in its broadest sense, and in particular its algebraic, geometric, and dynamical aspects. Dennis P. Sullivan has won numerous awards, among them the Steele Prize, the 2010 Wolf Prize in Mathematics, and the 2014 Balzan Prize for Mathematics. He is also a Fellow of the American Mathematical Society. The Abel Prize was established in 2002 by the Government of Norway and has been awarded each year since 2003 by the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters. The 94th Academy Awards ceremony, popularly known as the Oscars, was held in Los Angeles in March. From Will Smith slapping Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife, to a film from Apple TV Plus winning an Oscar for Best Picture, this year's award ceremony was packed with action and many firsts. The deaf family drama, Coda, won the Best Picture honors, handing Hollywood's top award to a streaming service for the first time. Will Smith received the Best Actor award for his performance in King Richard, while Jessica Chastain was awarded the Best Actress for her performance in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. The 75th edition of the British Academy Film Awards, BAFTA, was also conducted in March, honouring the best national and foreign films of 2021. This year, Power of the Dog was named Best Picture, while New Zealand filmmaker Jane Campion was named Best Director for it, the third woman to win the prize in the award's 7-decade history. Lead acting trophies went to Hollywood star Will Smith and British performer Joanna Scanlon. As an event that has worked to overcome a historic lack of diversity, recognized a wide range of talents, including its first deaf acting winner in Troy Kotsur for Coda. Back home in India, President Ramnath Kovind conferred the Nari Shakti Puraskar for the years 2020 and 21 on the occasion of International Women's Day on March 8, 2022 at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Overall, 29 women have been conferred the award for the years 2020 and 21 in recognition of their outstanding and exceptional work towards the empowerment of women, especially the vulnerable and marginalized. Refer to the website wcd.nic.in/award for details about the winners. Devendra Jhajaria became first para-athlete to receive Padma Bhushan, India's third highest civilian award. The 40-year-old javelin thrower received the prestigious award from President Ramnath Kovind at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He has won many Paralympic medals, including gold at the 2004 Paralympics in Athens and 2016 Rio Games, and a silver medal at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Avni Lekhara, parachuter, was also awarded the Padma Shri Award in the sports category. She is the first Indian woman to win 2 Paralympic medals in the same games, as well as the first Indian woman to earn Paralympic gold. Sumit Anil and Pramod Bhagat were the other Paralympic stars to be conferred with the honor. Stalwart Indian physicist and emeritus professor at the Department of Physics, IISER Pune, Professor Deepak Dhar will be conferred the prestigious Boltzmann Medal for his contribution in the field of statistical physics. The Boltzmann Medal is given every 3 years by the C3 Commission on Statistical Physics of the International Union of Pure and Applied Physics (IUPAP) at the StatPhys conference. The award, comprising a gilded medal, honors outstanding achievements in statistical physics. The award will be given during StatPhys 28 to be held in Tokyo from August 8 to 12. Professor Dhar shares the prize with John Hopfield, an American scientist. Karolina Belwiska from Poland has won the 70th edition of the Miss World pageant that took place in Puerto Rico. While Carolina won the coveted title of Miss World 2021, Shri Saini from the United States has become the first runner-up, and Olivia Yates from Cote d'Ivoire became the second runner-up. Manasa Varanasi, who was in the Miss World race for India, went up to the top 13 candidates but was not selected in the top 6 winners list. Our next section is Persons in News. Shane Warne, one of the greatest spinners cricket has ever seen, passed away in Thailand on 4th March of a suspected heart attack. It was a twin blow for Australia after wicket-keeping legend Rodney Marsh succumbed earlier in the day, and Warne had tweeted condolences to his senior. In a 15-year career for Australia, he took 708 test wickets and in 1999 won the Cricket World Cup. In 2008, he was appointed as the captain of Rajasthan Royals in the Indian Premier League after retiring from international cricket. He led the Royals to victory in the inaugural season of the competition and continued to captain them for 4 more seasons, with 2011 being his final season with the team. He announced his retirement from all formats in July 2013. Debashish Panda has been appointed as the new chairperson of the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India (IRDAI) for a 3-year term. The position of the chairman was vacant for over a period of 9 months, ever since Subhash Chandra Khuntia demitted office in May 2021. Panda is an officer of Indian Administrative Service of 1987 batch of Uttar Pradesh cadre. Prior to joining IRDAI, Panda served as Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, where he superannuated in January this year. Panda also served as Joint Secretary, Health and Family Welfare, Additional Secretary, and as Special Secretary, Financial Services in the Government of India. He has also served as the Government Nominee Director on the board of IRDAI and on the boards of some public sector banks and insurance companies. He was also on the board of the Reserve Bank of India. The IRDAI is a regulatory body that falls under the ambit of the Ministry of Finance. This organization is responsible for licensing and regulating the insurance and reinsurance sectors in India. The IL&FS Group announced the appointment of C.S. Rajan as Managing Director and Chairman effective April 3rd for 6 months by the Corporate Ministry in replacement of Mr. Uday Kotak, whose term ended on 2nd April. Rajan is an IAS officer of the 1978 batch who retired as Rajasthan Chief Secretary in 2016. He was named the MD in 2019, 6 months after the new board appointed by the government. Rajan was already a part of the IL&FS board. In 2018, IL&FS had defaulted on its debt obligations, triggering a liquidity crisis in the financial services market. So far, the group's overall estimated debt resolution stands at Rs 61,000 crores, which is around 62% of the overall debt as on October 2018. As of March, the estimated debt resolution, including applications in courts, stands at nearly Rs 55,000 crores. Lieutenant General Vinod G. Khandare has been appointed as the advisor in the Ministry of Defence. He will work closely with the Defence Secretary, according to defence sources. The mandate of the role would be to give strategic inputs and advice on affairs relating to defence policy, preparedness and related activities, including International Defence Corporation and maritime security and defence space. Lieutenant General Khandare superannuated from the Army end January 2018. From then till October 2021, he served as the military advisor in the National Security Council Secretariat under the Prime Minister's office. Moving on to our next section, Places in News. India's largest reclining statue of Lord Buddha is being built in Bodh Gaya. Built by Buddha International Welfare Mission, the statue will be 100 feet long and 30 feet high. The construction of the giant statue started in the year 2019 and will be open for devotees from February 2023. It is being made with fiberglass and built by sculptors from Kolkata. Bhante Aryapal Bhikshu, founder secretary of Buddha International Welfare Mission, said, "The idol of Lord Buddha is in Mahaparinirvana Mudra, which has great importance in Buddhism. Before Mahaparinirvana, Lord Buddha preached to his disciples in this posture. Bodh Gaya is the place of enlightenment of Lord Buddha, so this idol is being built here." Bodh Gaya, being an important pilgrimage center for Buddhism, is visited by devotees from all over the world. In other news, Assam's Manas National Park and Tiger Reserve has witnessed a sharp rise in the population of tigers and rhinos in recent times. The park authority expects the tiger population in the national park will be more than 60 from 48 as per the 2021 census. Babul Brahma, Deputy Ranger of Manas National Park and Tiger Reserve, said, "The tiger population was recorded 10 in 2010 and it has increased to 30 in 2020. In 2021 census, we had found 48 tigers in the park. That means tiger population has increased by 18 within a year. This year's census is going on and it will end by this month, and we have expected that the population will be increased to more than 60. Brahma said. Moving on to the major highlights in the category of national news, Japan has announced $5 trillion or 3,20,000 crore rupees investment target in India for the next 5 years, following talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida. The Japanese Prime Minister arrived in India on March 19th for his 2-day visit, which entailed addressing the 14th India-Japan Annual Summit. The two sides inked 6 agreements providing for the expansion of bilateral cooperation in a range of areas, besides forming a separate clean energy partnership. The Clean Energy Partnership will focus on electric vehicles, storage systems including batteries, charging infrastructure and hydrogen. The 6 agreements that both nations signed includes a memorandum of cooperation on cybersecurity, a memorandum on sustainable urban development, and an agreement on decentralized wastewater management. There has been progress in the economic partnership between India and Japan. Japan is one of the largest investors in India. India-Japan are working as one team, one project on Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail corridor, noted PM Modi. Amendments were also discussed to the India-Japan Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, while a roadmap was laid down for the India-Japan Competitiveness Partnership. As India looks to bolster its ties with 2 key neighbors in the Indian Ocean to counter China's influence, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, during his visit to Maldives, signed pacts on health and education besides discussing regional security and maritime safety issues with Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid at the Adu city. He also visited Sri Lanka, taking part in a slew of meetings seeking to boost the government's Indian Ocean policy doctrine, SAGAR, which is security and growth for all in the region. Jaishankar's 3-day visit to Sri Lanka was primarily to take part in the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation (BIMSTEC) Summit. But ahead of the multilateral meetings, he had a slew of bilateral appointments with the top Sri Lankan leadership, including President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, and his counterpart GL Paris. He also met with several cabinet ministers and held discussions with a Sri Lankan Tamil delegation. Extending financial assistance to its crisis-hit neighbor, India has so far provided a $400 million currency swap arrangement under the SARC framework and deferred an Asian Clearing Union settlement of $515.2 million till May this year. New Delhi has also extended two lines of credit, $1 billion for procurement of essential items and another $500 million for importing fuel from India. In addition, Sri Lanka has also sought an additional line of credit of $1.5 billion to pay for more essential items. In other news, following a month-long divided row over the hijab, the Karnataka High Court dismissed various petitions challenging a ban on the hijab in education institutions. The High Court has ruled that the hijab is not an essential religious practice in Islam. Further, the High Court has also declared that educational institutions have a right to prescribe uniforms and as such has dismissed all writ petitions. A three-member bench consisting of Chief Justice Rituraj Avasthi, along with judges Justice Krishna S. Dikshit and Justice Khazi Jaibunissa Mohyuddin, dismissed the legal challenge to the government notification as devoid of merit. The Supreme Court has recently agreed to consider listening to pleas challenging the Karnataka High Court verdict. Next, we have major highlights in the category of international news. Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine shows no signs of abating. The invasion has wreaked devastation and destruction, extracting a heavy toll on civilians. The UN says more than 4 million people have fled Ukraine. Recently, world leaders have accused Russia of endangering the safety of an entire continent after its forces shelled a nuclear power station in southern Ukraine. A fire broke out at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, the largest in Europe, after it was attacked by Russia. Head of the International Atomic Energy Agency has warned that the Russian missiles flying over Ukraine's nuclear power plants might lead to a nuclear accident and jeopardize the world's safety. On the other hand, President Vladimir Putin has warned that crippling economic sanctions imposed by the West on Russia were akin to declaration of war as the Russian military pummeled civilian targets and continued shelling near the first protected routes intended to allow besieged Ukrainians to flee, apparently violating a ceasefire that has been agreed to. Putin, in his first extended remarks since the start of the war, threatened to fully absorb Ukraine, the former Soviet republic of nearly 44 million people that declared its independence 30 years ago. The International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and other top global leaders have warned of extensive economic fallout from Russia's invasion of Ukraine and expressed horror at the devastating human catastrophe. The entire global economy will feel the effects of the crisis through slower growth, trade disruptions, and steeper inflation, harming especially the poorest and the most vulnerable, they said in a joint statement, warning that the conflict was increasing poverty. In Pakistan, a suicide bomber belonging to the ISIS Khorasan blew himself up inside a mosque in Qissa Khwani Bazar in Peshawar, capital of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, on 4th March in one of the deadliest attacks in the restive region bordering Afghanistan, killing at least 62 people and injuring nearly 200 others. The Islamic State affiliate in the region known as Islamic State in Khorasan province and headquartered in Afghanistan claimed responsibility for the devastating attack. In other news, Saudi Arabia on 12th March executed 81 people convicted of crimes ranging from killings to belonging to militant groups in the largest known mass execution carried out in the kingdom in its modern history. The number of executed surpassed even the toll of a January 1918 mass execution for the 63 militants convicted of seizing the Grand Mosque in Mecca in 1979, the worst ever militant attack to target the kingdom and Islam's holiest site. The number of death penalty cases being carried out in Saudi Arabia had dropped during the coronavirus pandemic, though the kingdom continued to behead convicts under King Salman and his assertive son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The kingdom said some of those executed were members of Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State group, and also backers of Yemen's Houthi rebels. A Nepalese government report dated September 2021, which was leaked in March, is found to accuse China of encroaching into Nepal's territory along their shared border. The report, commissioned after it was reported that China was trespassing in the Humla district in the far west of Nepal, claims that Chinese forces threatened Nepal's border police. According to the report, surveillance activities by Chinese security forces had restricted religious activities on the Nepalese side of the border at a place called Lalunjong. It also found that China was building a fence around a border pillar and attempting to construct a canal and a road on the Nepali side of the border. The report also suggested the deployment of Nepali security forces in the area to step up security. Despite all evidence on the ground, the report is now pending with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Meanwhile, amid reports of Chinese encroachment into Nepal in the last 2 years, there have been protests in Kathmandu against China's expansionist ambitions. The next category in news from the field of business, economy and industrial sector. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, has strengthened scrutiny of IPO-bound companies by questioning how key internal business metrics are used to arrive at valuations. This new process of checks and balances has unsettled some bankers and companies which now fear delays in listing plans. It is said that after Paytm debacle, the regulator has come up with stricter norms. The decision by the SEBI hints at the flop listing of online payments firm Paytm's $2.5 billion IPO in November last year, which sparked criticism of lax oversight of how loss-making firms price issues at what some say are lofty valuations, according to the Reuters report. One document from February containing SEBI's remarks to an IPO-bound firm asked for explanation regarding how KPIs form basis for arriving at the IPO issue price, adding they should be certified by a statutory auditor. Digital healthcare platform PharmEasy, which had filed papers for a $818 million IPO in November, is one such company which was hit by scrutiny. India's Adani Group has signed a deal for 2 large power projects in Sri Lanka's northern province, 6 months after it bagged a strategic port terminal project in Colombo that is now executing with majority stakes. The 2 renewable energy projects involving the Adani Group were aimed at generating combined capacity of 500 megawatts at a cost of $500 million. Both projects are in the northern province, where New Delhi objected to a Chinese energy project last year, citing proximity to the Tamil Nadu coast. The agreement was inked the same day that the National Thermal Power Corporation of India and the Ceylon Electricity Board agreed to set up a 100-megawatt solar power project in Sampur in the eastern Trincomalee district. Sri Lanka has a daily peak demand of over 2,000 megawatts and is currently experiencing a severe fuel and power shortage, resulting in hour-long power cuts across the country that citizens groups have been protesting. SoftBank-backed quick commerce startup Blinkit, earlier known as Grofers, has reportedly signed a merger deal with food delivery unicorn Zomato. The deal will value Blinkit between $700 to $800 million, stripping down the unicorn valuation that the online grocery delivery firm gained last year when it raised capital from Zomato. It will be an all-stock deal where Blinkit's investors will gain proportionate shares in Zomato. The development emerged amid reports of Blinkit delays vendor payments, shut down dark stores, and layoffs workforce. Blinkit last raised $100 million from Zomato in a round, which gave the company a unicorn status. The deal signals towards the beginning of a consolidation in the quick commerce space in India. The public-listed food tech firm will be approaching the Competition Commission of India for an approval soon. Following the stock swap, Blinkit's lead investor, SoftBank, will get around 4% stake in Zomato. It must be noted that SoftBank already is an investor in rival Swiggy. Two major movie theatre chain companies, PVR and Inox Leisure, received Board of Directors approval for stock amalgamation of Inox with PVR. The merger will be carried in a share exchange swap ratio, where 3 equity shares of PVR will be swapped for 10 equity shares of Inox. The amalgamation will bring together two of India's best cinema brands to deliver an unparalleled consumer experience with a network of more than 1,500 screens. Post the merger, promoters of Inox will become co promoters in the merged entity along with the existing promoters of PVR. Upon effectiveness of the scheme, the board of directors of the merged company would be reconstituted with total board strength of 10 members and both the promoter families having equal representation on the board with 2 board seats each. Under the amalgamation agreement, Ajay Bijli would be appointed as the managing director and Sanjeev Kumar will take charge as the executive director. Pawan Kumar Jain to take the role as the non-executive chairman of the board. Moving on to our next category, meetings and summits. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated at a virtual summit of Quad leaders in March, along with US President Joe Biden, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. The meeting reviewed the progress on Quad initiatives since September 2021 Quad Summit. The leaders agreed on accelerating cooperation with an objective to achieve concrete outcomes by the summit in Japan later this year. Prime Minister underlined that the Quad must remain focused on its core objective of promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. He called for concrete and practical forms of cooperation within the Quad in areas like humanitarian and disaster relief, debt sustainability, supply chains, clean energy, connectivity, and capacity building. Developments in Ukraine were discussed in the meeting, including its humanitarian implications. The Prime Minister emphasized the need to return to a path of dialogue and diplomacy. The leaders also discussed other topical issues, including the situation in Southeast Asia, the Indian Ocean region, and the Pacific Islands. Prime Minister reiterated the importance of adhering to the UN Charter, international law, and respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Our next category is science and technology. Two back-to-back successful tests of the Army version of medium-range surface-to-air missile against high-speed aerial targets at two different ranges were conducted by the Defence Research and Development Organization off the coast of Odisha. The tests were conducted at the Integrated Test Range Chandipur as part of the live firing trials against high-speed aerial targets. The missiles intercepted the aerial targets and destroyed them completely, registering direct hits at both ranges. The MRSAM version is a surface-to-air missile developed jointly by DRDO and Israel Aerospace Industries for use by the Indian Army. The first test of the missile was conducted in December 2020. The MRSAM Army Weapons System comprises a multifunction radar, mobile launcher system, and other vehicles. In other news, the Reserve Bank of India has directed Paytm Payments Bank to stop from acquiring new customers with immediate effect because of certain supervisory concerns. RBI has directed the bank to appoint an IT audit firm to conduct a comprehensive system audit of its IT system. Veteran banker and former CEO of HDFC Bank, Aditya Puri, has also raised serious questions about fintech giant Paytm's business model by saying that the listed fintech startup has earned customers not through rendering financial services but via its cashbacks. This is not the first time that the former CEO of HDFC Banks has gone public with his concerns on the models of such fintech startups. In February 2017, Puri had questioned Paytm's business model, saying he sees no future in digital wallets. The banker said he was not confident about this new wave of digital payments. Moving on to our next category of sports, this month, Mithali Raj became only the third cricketer and the first woman to appear in 6 World Cups, joining the iconic Sachin Tendulkar and Pakistani great Javed Miandad. She achieved the feat as India locked horns with arch-rivals Pakistan in their much-anticipated opening match of the ICC Women's World Cup at the Bay Oval. Raj, a 39-year-old veteran of many memorable matches, had made her maiden World Cup appearance in 2000, before playing the event in 2005, 9, 13, 17 and now in 2022. In the women's game, the Indian batter surpassed former New Zealand cricketer Debbie Hockley and Charlotte Edwards of England. Tendulkar, the holder of innumerable batting records, is the only Indian cricketer apart from Mithali Raj to feature in 6 World Cups, starting from 1992 to the triumphant campaign in 2011. All-rounder Ravindra Jadeja became the 6th cricketer to register a score of 150 plus and take 5 wickets in the same test. Jadeja achieved the feat on day 3 of the first test against Sri Lanka as he took 5 wickets in the first innings. Earlier, the left-handed batter played an unbeaten knock of 175 to help India post a 450 plus score against Sri Lanka. Earlier, Vinumakar, Dennis Atkinson, Polly Umrigar, Gary Sobers and Mushtaq Mohammad had achieved this feat. PV Sindhu notched up her second women's singles title of the season with a straight game win over Thailand's Busanan Ongbangrungfan in the summit clash of the Swiss Open Super 300 badminton tournament. Playing her second successive final in the tournament, Sindhu, a double Olympic medalist, took 49 minutes to get the better of the 4th-seeded Thai 21-16, 21-8 at the St. Jacob Shell. It was Sindhu's 16th win over Busanan in 17 meetings, having lost to the Thai only once at the 2019 Hong Kong Open. BCCI Secretary Jai Shah's tenure as President of the Asian Cricket Council on March 19 was unanimously extended by a year at its annual general meeting in Colombo. Shah had taken over the reins of the ACC in January last year from Bangladesh Cricket Board President Nazmul Hasan, making him the youngest administrator to be reappointed as ACC President. Shah's extension was proposed by the Sri Lanka Cricket President Shami Silva, and the nomination was backed unanimously by all the members of the ACC. With this, we have come to the end of this month's edition of GK Capsule. We hope you like the coverage of topics in our monthly edition. Do also watch our other online videos. Happy learning. Thank you.